You know that feeling when your body is exhausted but your brain refuses to cooperate? You are horizontal, the lights are off, everything around you is perfectly quiet, and yet, somehow, your mind is louder than it has been all day. It starts with something small, a detail from a conversation you had this morning, then a task you pushed to tomorrow, then a bigger thing, something you have been avoiding thinking about, and now it is right there in the dark with you, fully awake, fully alive, demanding attention. You shift positions, you flip the pillow to the cold side, you check the time, which you immediately regret because now you are calculating exactly how many hours of sleep you will get if you fall asleep right this second, which puts even more pressure on falling asleep right this second, which makes it completely impossible to fall asleep right this second. And the worst part is that you know this is happening. You can see the whole cycle clearly, and you still cannot stop it. If that is familiar, stay with me, because what I'm about to walk you through is not a breathing exercise you've already tried, and it's not another tip about avoiding caffeine after noon. It's a structured 3-stage process for manually overriding the system that is keeping you awake, and it works even when your mind is at its loudest. Before we get into the method, you need to understand one thing about why this is actually happening to you. The problem is not that you're not tired. You are probably exhausted. The problem is that tired and calm are not the same thing, and your body needs both before it will let you sleep. Think about what your nervous system has been doing all day. Every notification, every decision, every small frustration, every moment of uncertainty, none of those things got fully resolved. They just got postponed. And your brain, which is genuinely trying to protect you, doesn't feel safe setting them down until it's sure you have handled them. So when you go quiet, it brings them all back up, not to torture you, to make sure you haven't forgotten. The solution is not to force your brain to stop. The solution is to give it a convincing enough signal that the work is done, that nothing requires your attention right now, that it's actually safe to let go. That's what this process does. Stage 1 is about your body, and it matters more than most people expect. There's a direct two-way connection between your muscles and your threat detection system. When you're stressed or anxious, your muscles tighten. Your jaw, your shoulders, the space between your eyebrows, the muscles along your spine. You probably don't notice it because it has become your baseline, but it's there, and it's constantly feeding information back to your brain that says, stay alert, something is wrong. The reversal of this is also true. If you consciously release that tension, your brain receives the opposite signal. The body is loose, the body is open, there is no danger here, and it starts to believe it. So here's what you do. Lie on your back, let your arms rest slightly away from your sides, palms open. Take one slow breath and let it go without forcing anything. Now start with your face. Most people carry an enormous amount of tension in their face without ever realizing it. Your forehead is probably slightly furrowed. Your jaw is probably not fully relaxed. Your eyes, even closed, are likely holding some subtle tightness around them. Let all of it soften. Smooth out your forehead intentionally. Part your lips just slightly and let your jaw drop open. Relax the space around your eyes until it feels like there is no effort there at all. Spend about 20 seconds on this. It will feel like longer than you expect. From there, move to your neck and the base of your skull. Let your head become heavy. Stop holding it, stop positioning it, just let the pillow take the full weight of it. Move down through your shoulders. This is where most people store the most tension. Let them fall, all the way, toward the mattress. You'll probably notice they drop further than you expected, which means you were holding them up without realizing it. Continue down through your arms, your biceps, your forearms, your wrists, your fingers. Let each part go heavy and still, like it's sinking slowly into the surface beneath you. Your chest. As you breathe out, let it deflate fully. Do not immediately brace for the next breath. Just let it rest there for a moment. Your abdomen, your lower back, your hips. Let them all release. And then your legs. Thighs, then knees, then calves, then ankles. Let your feet fall outward naturally, not positioned, just resting wherever gravity takes them. When you finish, your entire body should feel heavy in a way that is almost unfamiliar, like you couldn't move even if you wanted to. That's the right feeling. That's the signal landing. But the body being still doesn't mean the mind will follow automatically. That's where stage 2 comes in. Stage 2 is about giving your mind somewhere to go that is not the list of things keeping you awake.
Here is the mistake almost every popular sleep advice makes. They tell you to empty your mind or think about nothing. That instruction is completely useless because it turns relaxation into a task. Now you are monitoring yourself for thoughts, which is a thought, which means you are already failing, which creates anxiety, which creates more thoughts. The approach that actually works is different. Instead of clearing your mind, you occupy it with something so simple and so uneventful that your real concerns simply cannot compete with it. You are not pushing thoughts away, you are just not giving them enough space to settle. There are a few versions of this, and different minds respond to different ones, so try them and notice which one pulls you in most naturally. The first is a still body of water. You picture yourself lying in a small boat on a lake so calm it looks like glass. There is no wind, there is no current, there is no destination. The sky above you is dark and wide and full of faint light. You are not doing anything, you are not going anywhere, you are just there, rocking so slightly you can barely feel it. Every time a thought surfaces, you do not argue with it, you just notice it and bring your attention back to the water. The stillness, the sky, the almost imperceptible movement. The second is total darkness. You imagine yourself in a space with no walls, no light, no sound, just a deep, warm, completely safe dark, and somewhere in it, a slow and steady rhythm, a pulse, a distant sound like rain, something consistent and unhurried that you can rest your attention on, not analyze, not follow, just rest on. The third works well for people who find images hard to hold. You choose 2 words, a simple instruction to yourself, and you repeat it slowly inside your mind. Not urgently, barely mentally, like a sound fading into the background. You let it become so repetitive it loses meaning. That loss of meaning is exactly what you want. Meaning requires engagement. You are trying to disengage. The rule with all 3 is the same. You are not trying to maintain perfect focus. You will drift. When you do, you return. No frustration, no restart. Just a quiet return as many times as it takes. At some point, the returning stops happening. That is when you are asleep. Stage 3 is the one most people skip because it happens before bed, not during it. And it is also the one that makes the biggest long-term difference. Your brain is a pattern recognition system. It is always looking for sequences it has seen before, and it prepares for what it predicts comes next. Right now, for most people, the pattern before sleep is irregular. Some nights you watch something until you pass out, some nights you scroll until your eyes give up, some nights you lie in the dark worrying. There is no consistent sequence, so your brain never knows what's coming, and it never prepares for sleep in advance. What you want to build is a short, consistent wind-down sequence that you run every night in the same order, something that signals reliably and repeatedly that the day is ending and rest is coming. It doesn't need to be elaborate. 30 minutes before you want to be asleep, put the screens away. Not across the room, away. Dim the lights in whatever space you are in. Do something with your hands or your eyes that requires almost no cognitive effort. A few pages of a physical book, a few minutes of slow stretching, a warm drink that you make slowly and drink without doing anything else at the same time. The specific activities are less important than the repetition. Within a few weeks, your body will start the chemical process of winding down the moment the ritual begins, before you even reach your bed. You are essentially programming a shortcut into your nervous system. One more thing before the summary. The first time you use the stages I described, it probably won't work in 2 minutes. That's fine and completely normal. This is a skill, and skills improve with repetition. The first week, you may still take 20 minutes to fall asleep. The second week, faster. By the end of the first month, many people find themselves not even completing stage 1 before they are gone. The only thing that breaks the process is inconsistency. If you try it twice, decide it's not working, and return to old patterns, nothing changes. If you run the sequence every night, regardless of how quickly it seems to be working, the results compound. Also, if you've been lying in bed for more than 20 minutes and sleep is nowhere close, get up. Go somewhere else in your home. Do something genuinely boring and low stimulation for about 10 minutes. Then return and begin again. This is not defeat. This is strategy. A bed that gets associated with wakefulness and frustration becomes harder to sleep in over time. Keep the association clean. Bed is for sleeping. If sleeping is not happening, you leave and come back. Here is the full sequence stripped down to its essentials. First, the body scan. Start at your face, move slowly downward, releasing tension in each area deliberately. Let your body become heavy and still before you try to do anything with your mind. Second, the mental anchor. Choose a visualization or a word loop that your mind finds easy to hold. Return to it without frustration every time you drift. Do not fight the thoughts, just don't follow them. Third, the shutdown ritual. 30 minutes of consistent low stimulation activity before bed, every night in the same order. Build the pattern, and the pattern will start doing the work for you. If any part of this landed for you, I would love to know which stage feels most relevant to where you are right now. Leave a comment if you feel like it. Reading those actually shapes what I cover next. And if you know someone who mentions not being able to sleep, this might be worth sending their way. The next video picks up right where this one ends, because once you solve falling asleep, the next question is why you can sleep 8 hours and still wake up feeling like you haven't slept at all. That one has a surprisingly specific answer, and it's worth knowing.